Conversational Intelligence, CIQ, I think.
That's right.
Now, you're one of the first coaches that have been accredited in this area. Can you tell us more about it? What is CIQ?
Conversational Intelligence is the brainchild of Judith Glazer, who is a coach, American. She works out of New York. And it was actually one of my colleagues at Melbourne Business School who gave me her book a few years ago. Knew that I was very interested in the area of interpersonal communication. It's an area I used to lecture in, and it's very prominent in the leadership programs that I run, and knew that conversation was important to me and said, oh, if you haven't read Judith's book, you must read this one. And I read it and I thought, wow, it's so aligned with the work that I already do. So CIQ is very much about how do you use conversation to build relationships with people, to build trust, and to be able to influence people effectively. So it's looking at opening up conversations to build those relationships, to work more collaboratively with people, to get people on side in partnership with you rather than working against people. So often in the workplace, a lot of the conversations are task-oriented and they're functional conversations. They're closed down conversation, they're not open for discussion. It's very much, this is what has to be done. So Judith has developed a number of different models. There's level 1, 2 and 3 of conversations, but there's a whole lot of strategies and techniques that she teaches. And it's really all focused on how do you use conversation to be more effective. So it works really well with the leadership development because being able to communicate effectively with others is crucial. So Judith goes a bit further, looking at the neuroscience behind conversations and recognising that when you engage with somebody in a positive way, you have a physical response with releasing oxytocin into the system, which makes people feel good about the conversation, and you're more likely to engage further and to keep that relationship or even just the conversation going. When you feel confronted by somebody, or you feel that you have to defend yourself, or the conversation is closing in rather than opening up, then you have the opposite effect, and you have cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which of course doesn't make you feel too good and has negative impacts. So it's looking at how do you trigger the oxytocin response rather than the cortisol response through the conversations that you're having. So it's really fascinating work, and it's so well aligned with the work that I was already doing. It made a lot of sense to incorporate that into the leadership programs that I run, and sometimes just doing CIQ workshops can be really helpful.
What's one bit of advice you give people to have a more of a, I suppose, we mentality as opposed to I or do this mentality?
I often tell my clients to have a shoes off mentality. So you've probably heard the saying that to truly understand another person, you need to walk a mile in their shoes.
Yes.
I always tell my clients, well, you can't really walk in somebody else's shoes if you've still got your own on your feet. You have to take your shoes off to be able to step into somebody else's. So when it comes to your mindset, be open to have your mind changed. Don't go into a conversation with somebody just saying that you're listening, but really just waiting for them to stop talking so you can tell them why you're right, or tell them your approach or your ideas. Actually park your ideas for the moment. Be open to really listen to what they have to say. Invite them to contribute their thoughts, their ideas. They might surprise you with something brilliant that's never even occurred to you, which you would miss if you weren't open to really listening to what they have to say. So the shoes off mentality is park your needs, park your ideas, park your need to be right to the side for the moment. Invite the other person to share their thoughts and ideas with you. So shoes off mentality. Be prepared to have your mind changed. If somebody comes up with a great idea that's never even occurred to you, say, fantastic. I love that idea. Let's work on that together, rather than needing to own the decision making or the need to be right. So that shoes off mentality is a big one that I encourage people. Just be open, be positive, be willing to work collaboratively with others for that mutual beneficial outcome.